After a lot of faffing around and some really weird cancellation fees, I've rid myself of a company which for legal reasons I won't mention. Hello, my name is Matt Jazz and I have tasked myself to make a visual novel by myself. Today is Devlog number 12, so without further ado, let me show you what I've been working on. So, in the last episode we basically made the character sprites for the game, and in this episode we're basically going to be making the first steps into making this into an actual game. Now for those of you who don't know, I'm making a visual novel project about cats eating ramen at a ramen stall at night, and I just want to give everyone a quick update of where the project currently is as well. So the engine I'm using is called Visual Novel Maker. Visual Novel Maker is made by the same people who make RPG Maker, and is perfect for the type of game that I'm making here, which is basically backgrounds, characters, text box, UI, and so on. So we have Visual Novel Maker here. It basically works on a node system, very similar to like a flowchart. So it'll make its way down the list in like a timeline format. And this is where I basically tell the game to what to have on screen at certain times. Things like characters, backgrounds, so on and so forth. So previously I've had this as a background, and after a few tweaking from the main menu, which is based off a 3D model, which I accidentally lost, I basically remodeled a new background to basically match the original main menu, so I've got something that looks like this. This is very basic for now, but further down the line I am going to be drawing over this to the final background. I also imported the characters. Now the characters work on two different sections. You've got the head and then the body. The body will house all the animation for the tail, which I can put on a loop. And then the head will house all of the expressions. So as the story goes on and what's ever been said, their emotion can reflect that. I've just got a few examples just for now, just so I can see if it works. And it does, which is absolutely fantastic. I just need to make sure that the head and the body are in the exact same place, otherwise they can go a bit off kilter. And you don't exactly want floating heads mid-game. And previously I worked on a UI design. This is what it looked like here. But after sort of doing some research on other visual novels and kind of different styles, I eventually settled upon something that looked like this. So this is what we got at the moment. It also incorporates different elements from the logo. So this is the logo that we currently have for the Noodle Nook. The Noodle Nook being the name of the game. So I've incorporated different elements in, things like the sparkles from it and also the little steam trail that we have here. Just so it makes it look a bit more coherent and it all kind of works together. I do also kind of like the colors I've incorporated here too. Especially that it is set at night, the blues, sort of the sunsets at the top. And this is how it all works together. So Visual Novel actually has some sample projects and some example visual novels for you to try out and see what works. And I basically took one of these as a starting point. So we've got the default main menu here that also has the load and the save things already incorporated, so I don't have to worry about the coding on this. I can tweak this later on, which is great if I do decide to play around with the code, which I did have to do for the UI. So I'm already getting to grips with how it works in this engine. And then we have it dead simple just for the time being to show you. So the background appears, then the character appears, and then I also have the camera zooming into the character so there's a good focus on it. Then the UI pops up along with all the text, which I have modified and changed to be able to fit the design that I originally had. And then the text comes up, not a problem, everything's working and everything's sorted. And I also worked upon a very basic choice system. Now further down the line there's going to be the ramen selection screen and your choice will affect the story. But for now I've got a very simple and basic choice system for when you first meet Jessie. Jess is the very first cat that you meet. And depending on your option, it basically goes to what you label. This is just to see how it works, but further down the line we are going to make this a bit more complex. But it's good to know how it works at this early stage of development. But this is basically the very first steps for the game to make it to reality. And that's pretty much it. These are basically the first steps for me actually making this an actual game. Next episode is basically polishing, tweaking, updating certain things. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye. Honestly, fuck Adobe.